Want to start a fashion brand in 2023? You need to watch this. I'll be sharing my 3 top tips for launching your fashion brand successfully and the things that you must include in your new business. If you're new to the Fashion Business Coach, welcome. I'm Vicki and I've been running this business for nearly 7 years now. And in that time, I've seen a ton of mistakes that new fashion entrepreneurs have made. So in this video, I want to share with you 3 things to help you get off on the right foot. So in terms of things that I've seen people do and then that's not worked out so well, one massive mistake is that people try and cater to everyone. Okay, maybe you're guilty of this yourself. You want to build this massive audience, you want to create kind of viral content that's super popular, but actually that doesn't serve you well if you're wanting to have a fashion brand and sell products to people. Here's why. As you're probably aware, there is a ton of competition in the fashion industry, and the way that we can really stand out is by speaking really well to a specific group of people, by really thinking, okay, what is this problem or what is this need that this particular group of people have, and how can I cater to that? That's how we get noticed, because those people who are experiencing that problem, you're going to stand out to them massively. So it's actually a lot better to have a really small target group of people and be really specific and go into all the details of their pain points and what they're experiencing versus trying to appeal to the masses. This is the best way of getting your fashion brand noticed. So what we want to do when we launch our brand, before we even design anything or do anything, to be honest, we want to make sure that we have this really specific target customer in mind. Think about their problems and think about how we can solve them and help them. This doesn't have to be some massive revolutionary idea. We don't need to reinvent the wheel here, but just create something that speaks to the specific person. And let's remind ourselves, if we think in terms of ice cream, people don't pay the big bucks for vanilla, right? Vanilla is just kind of, some people like it, but most people are like, man, I'd rather have something else. If we want to create something that actually sells, that actually creates a buzz and that people are willing to pay a premium for, we need to make sure that it ticks a lot more boxes and is a lot more exciting, essentially. So try and think about something that is not already out there. In terms of the collection itself, so when we've got this target customer in mind and what they need, we want to then create a collection that makes sense. Why do I say it like that? A lot of people I see, they'll create this so-called fashion collection and it's just essentially a collection of stuff they like that they've kind of thrown together. Like, oh yeah, I like dresses, I like skirts, like we'll put it together. But actually, if you want to have a profitable fashion business, and honestly, I talk about business, right? So if you're just wanting an expensive hobby, then this is not the channel for you. I'm talking about strategic fashion business. If you want to have that profit aspect in the business that you're running, you need to really be strategic about the things that you're putting in a collection. Because if you're just selling, and this is a terrible example, but to kind of illustrate the point, if you're just making dresses and just making skirts, you're missing out on a lot of sales, because what are people going to wear the skirt with, right? And people aren't usually going to buy a dress and skirt that are very similar. They'll usually get one or the other. So you kind of have these products that are competing with each other. So we want to create a collection that really makes sense as more of like a capsule collection where people would want to buy different things from that range. That's going to really help you to increase your profits in your business. It's actually one of my favorite ways to do that. So make sure that rather than just putting together a bunch of things that you like, you've actually thought through, okay, so someone buys this, what's the logical next step for them? What are they going to want to buy next to complete the look? And think about your collection building that way rather than just all about the visuals. Don't get me wrong, visuals and having amazing styles that are really fun and eye-catching and, again, suitable for that target customer are important. But if you want to see more profits and more sales in your business, you need something that really intertwines and things can be worn with each other and create different looks, for example. And then finally, pricing. I get a ton of questions about pricing, and it really doesn't have to be that complicated. Price your products based on what your target customer can afford. That's it. That's the big secret. The biggest mistake you can make is pricing your products based on your factory costs, because then your chances are you're going to pay considerably more than you needed to with the factory. You want to go into any factory negotiation situation, and yes, you should be negotiating every single time you put a product into production. When you go into that negotiating situation, you want to make sure that you have a price in mind that you want to pay, and you need to do your job as the brand to make sure that you get your product for a price that fits in with that plan. Because otherwise, if you look at the factory price and think, okay, that's the factory price, I'll accept it, and then base your pricing on that, it's going to hurt you later when you realize that it's too expensive for your target audience and they're not going to be able to afford to pay you. It's really, really fundamental that you take control of the pricing from day one. So actually what I do in my business and what all of the big brands that I work for and have worked for do, we actually price before we even design. Yes, you heard that right. So we price before we design because it's so fundamental and so important to get that pricing piece right from the start. So we've covered a lot in this short video, and it is just a short video because I want to invite you to a masterclass that I'm doing where we're going to dive into all of these topics in a lot more detail. So we're going to be talking about your 3 non-negotiables for launching your fashion business in 2023. I'm going to pop the link for that below so you can go ahead and register. It's absolutely free, and we're going to cover these topics and a ton more in a lot more detail because we have a lot more time, which is really, really good. And I'm so excited to teach you this. I'm going to be teaching things that I've never done in a free masterclass or a free video. So make sure that you stay tuned for that and join me. I'm really, really excited for that, and I hope to see you there. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.